Hi everybody! How many of you remember being very young and playing pretend with your friends and your family? My name is Angela Fullard, and I know that I do. However, for a lot of people, playing pretend is something that gets lost after childhood. But for me, it was very different. Not only did I continue to play pretend throughout my childhood, but it has also followed me into adulthood. In fact, it's one of the many reasons that I have become a cartoonist. It all started whenever I was very young, and I would spend a lot of my time at my grandmother's house with my 9 older cousins. I was the very youngest, and I was the only girl, but still, they accepted me as one of their kind. Now, they were very active, and they were very imaginative. So, in order to make me feel like one of them, they would play with me. How they would do this is they would create treasure chests and hide treasure throughout the entire community. Now for me, the whole community was like one big vast world. So if they would hide treasure in my neighbor's yard, for me it was like exploring forbidden forests, enchanted kingdoms, and whole new worlds. They also would play with me too, and pretend to be characters. So while I was looking for treasure, I would also be battling beasts, dark lords, and making friends with elves and orcs. As I grew older, so did my cousins, and unfortunately, they became teenagers and they no longer wanted to play pretend with me. Luckily, I did find a couple of friends who liked to play pretend as well. So, what we would do is we would create characters and we would act them out. We would write little stories and then create movies of how we wanted them to be played. Whenever I was alone and I didn't have time to play with my friends or they were busy, I would be busy writing my own little stories and creating my own little characters. This is how I began to draw. I would sketch out the characters, write my own languages. I would even learn my own languages so that I would be able to know how to speak them. And then, from there, I would have a whole list of characters and stories that I would be able to go along with. Now, I did grow up too, and eventually it became socially unacceptable for me to want to play pretend as a teenager. So what I did was I took all of the characters that I had made whenever I was a child, and I started making comic books instead of acting and playing them out. From there, I actually ended up going to Edinburgh University for animation, and my professors told me that I had some of the best character design skills that they had seen. Now, I use those character design skills and animation skills that I learned at school before, and I am a freelance cartoonist and illustrator. I have many influences for being a cartoonist and for the stories that I create, and one of them is now my 2 stepsons, Max and Isaac. As a matter of fact, I am writing a short story for them that I had been working on whenever I was a kid, but never got to finishing. It is about Bones the skeleton. And here are a couple of the illustrations that I have created for that book. Now I am pursuing my education to be an art educator for kindergarten through 12th grade, and I am hoping that my vast experience with imagination throughout my lifetime will help me to teach children that they can turn their imagination into talents and skills.